Hi everyone, welcome. Today I am talking about 6 things that have helped us save thousands of dollars. Now I've been concentrating on my budget a lot lately, and especially my grocery expenditures, which have totally bummed me out lately, and maybe you're feeling the same way. Well, these 6 items are going to help you feel better about the way that you're saving money. And I have a hot tip at the end for my mom. So, after being retired for a year, I had to put the brakes on some of our expenses, especially when it came to food, drink, and groceries. And I'm sure that's one of the top 3 expenses that most people have besides their mortgage and their car. Well, that's my focus for the next year, is to make sure that we are living below our means, and that is one of the areas that I'm concentrating on today with you. And I want you to have your best next chapter in life. So I hope you will follow along. And I want you to know that there are definitely ways that you can save money and feel better about not being a total budget failure. So here's my list. The first one on the list is we purchased a vacuum sealer, and we have been using it for many, many years. I would say over 10 years. Like, we are on probably our 3rd vacuum sealer. And we use the vacuum sealer because it allows us to make bulk purchases. And then after we're home from grocery shopping, we break it all down and we repackage it into portions that we can use for different recipes and to store food easier. So whenever possible, when we go to the grocery store, we don't buy small, individually packaged products. We like to purchase in bulk for savings. So one example would be that we purchase large packages of chicken thighs. And chicken thighs, when we get home, we will take it and repackage it. We will put them into 4 individual pieces per package and then put it into the freezer for meal planning for the next week or month. The second item that we purchased, and we are on our second one already because we do use it almost every day, and that is an electric kettle. Now, this is a speed boil electric kettle, which means you just plug it in, and within a matter of minutes, the water is already boiling. Now, I use it to make my coffee in the morning. My husband uses it for specific recipes when he needs to boil water. I think he uses it with his sourdough recipe, or he could use it for cleaning a specific object, or he could use it to clean something in the kitchen where he needs really hot water. So unlike using a microwave or a stove, this is an electric kettle. You just plug it in and it heats itself up and it turns itself off. It's really very safe and effective. Now, since I have this electric kettle, I brew more coffee at home. I rarely spend any money on coffee while I'm out. I no longer go to Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks or even purchase a coffee while I'm at the grocery store shopping. I make my own coffee at home now. Now, remember, I have 6 tips, so 4 more are coming, and I have a hot tip for my mom, and I'll try to put a picture of my mom at the end so that you can relate to her and where she comes from in her past and why these tips are so fabulous. Now, the third item we have purchased, and we are on our second one, is a KitchenAid mixer. So the first mixer we had, we used quite a bit, and finally the motor burnt out, so we had to purchase another one. Now, we use this KitchenAid mixer, mostly my husband, because he's fabulous with pastries. We use it for kneading dough, making pasta, grinding meat, whipping cream. And we have it in our kitchen because it is a piece of equipment that can do many things. We've used it for making sausage, but the most recent thing we have used it for is for making Christmas gifts. And we make birthday gifts, and we make a dessert whenever we go to another couple's house for dinner, or we go to an event or a party. We use the KitchenAid Mixer as a way to make something to give as a gift or to give to a hostess who has invited us over to their home. And now, whenever we go to someone's home, I ask, well, what would you like us to bring? 9 times out of 10, they will ask us to bring something sweet. They would love a dessert. And for us, we have all the equipment and all the ingredients, and it's simple and easy for us to do. It feels like a win-win for everyone. Now, number 4 on the list is we have a sourdough starter, and my husband makes artisanal bread. He makes a great sourdough bread. He makes 2 versions. One is a loaf and a plain loaf, and the second one is a round loaf where he will put herbs in it with olives. And that is just another gift that we can bring to someone's house when we go for dinner parties or we go to a function at our community center. We just make a oil and balsamic vinegar dip with the breads just cut up, and we eat it at home. And this sourdough starter has been a great way for us to bring fresh bread into our diets in our home and our meal planning. Now, it's just flour and water. Really, that's all it is to start a sourdough starter. You take the flour and the water and you let it sit out in room temperature. And you feed it every day, and over the course of 5 to 7 days, you should be ready to bake a few different loaves. So we no longer buy store-bought bread. We use it for toast, we use it for sandwiches, we make breadcrumbs out of it, and we use it in future meals. And the most fabulous thing about baking bread in your home is the smell. The smell of fresh sourdough bread is unbeatable. Now, the 5th thing on my list is we grow herbs at our house. And if you don't have a way to grow herbs outside, you can do it indoor on a shelf right in your own kitchen. Now, we grow our own herbs as a way of saving money from buying the packaged herbs in the grocery store or even the fresh herbs that are in the grocery store. If we can grow it at home, then all we have to do is walk right outside, take a couple of snips off, and just put it right into the recipe. Now, we grow many different herbs like basil, mint, oregano, thyme, and rosemary. Those are our favorite herbs to grow. Now, once you start growing herbs, and especially in Florida, you can have them almost year-round, and they last longer. Like, I don't have to worry about them rotting in the refrigerator or going unused, which is something that I invested in, and I would hate to see it go sitting in the refrigerator unused or rotting. And it's great to just have it right outside. Now, the 6th item on my list is to have a pre-planned meal in your freezer. We always have turkey burgers in our freezer. So when we're at the grocery store and we see ground turkey for sale or in big packages at a pretty good price, we will take that home and repackage it. we will make them into round patties, individually wrap them, put them into a plastic sealed baggie or vacuum seal them, and put them right into our freezer. So anytime we are home and don't want to go to the grocery store and are looking for something to eat, our turkey burgers are a go-to meal for us. And we have it almost once a week. Now, I have heard that some people keep frozen pizzas in their freezer as their go-to. And eventually, you'll know what you like and what you find in the grocery store that you would like to keep in your freezer as your go-to meal. That's a meal that's ready to be made. You don't have to go outside the house to go and get ingredients for a recipe, or you don't have to go out to a fast food restaurant, or you don't have to have Uber deliver. It's something that's already in your freezer, ready to go. Now, here's a hot tip from my mom. My mom was fabulous about reusing refrigerator items. And the first one I'm going to talk about in this video, because she has a few more and I'll share them in other videos, is pickle juice. My mom had jars of pickles in the refrigerator. Now, once we ate the pickles, she kept the juice in the jars in the refrigerator. And she had usually 2 jars of pickles. One was the regular dill pickles and the other one was the bread and butter pickles. So there was one dill version and then there was one of the sweeter version. There are 3 ways that my mom used pickle juice. And the first one has to do with the dill pickle juice. My mom used to stretch ketchup with the juice. So when the ketchup bottle was running low or was about halfway, she would take the pickle juice from the dill pickles and pour it into the ketchup bottle and shake it up, and that's how she would stretch her ketchup. Now, I don't know if that is frugal or cheap, but if you knew my mom and where she came from, stretching things from your refrigerator was a common practice. Now, the second way she used pickle juice, and she used mostly the sweet version, the bread and butter version, was she would take the cucumbers from our garden and slice them into like 1/4 inch round pieces, and she would put them back into the bread and butter pickle juice. And within a few days, we had more pickles. Now, I think she could have done it also in the regular dill pickle juice, but I think that was her favorite pickles, so she wanted to stretch her sweet bread and butter pickles for herself. Guilty pleasures. Gotta love them. Now, the third way my mom used pickle juice was the dill pickle juice, and she would use the dill pickle juice in her macaroni salad and her potato salad. Now, she also would cut up pickles to put them into the macaroni and potato salad, but she would use a little bit of the pickle juice to give it some extra punch and flavor. And we just gobbled it up. When my mom made potato salad or macaroni salad, she would make it to go with usually hot dogs or hamburgers, but it was a nice little side dish that she would make that she took the extra time to give to us as kids, and we just gobbled it up. Now, I hope you've enjoyed these 6 tips and my mom's fabulous pickle tips. Thanks for following along, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.